Hello and welcome to another episode of Katie in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Katie Ruffino, and today we're going to be doing a solo episode where I teach you how to make a meal that is simple, easy, healthy for you and your family, or for extra leftovers for meal prep for the week for dinner. We'll be making salmon with asparagus and broccoli and some rice. This sounds very simple. I get it, but it is very easy and it's good and nourishing. Before I prep the food, I like to prep myself by making sure I have a snack. This is just some olives, some pitted olives. They are low in calorie, they are salty and delicious. And they're imported from Italy. I learned how to taste olive oil in Greece and do like an olive oil. I learned how to do an olive oil tasting in Greece. I love the simplicity of a snack of olives, but how complex the flavor is. Let's get into the recipe. So when I start cooking, I always like to prep or cook the ingredient. For this recipe today, it is going to be the rice. This is organic jasmine rice, and we're gonna start and we're going to cook this on the stove and then cook it on the stove. Then we're gonna prepare and then bake the salmon, which is covered by this paper. And then we will cut some heirloom tomato, put that on top, add a little bit of dill and lemon, and then we are going to steam or saute the vegetables. The reason why I chose this dish is because it includes a healthy fat, healthy protein, and healthy carbs and fiber. So the salmon is going to be very high in omega-3s and vitamin D, as well as protein. And then the rice is going to be our starch. We also have the lutein from this organic tomato, and it just look at how beautiful that is. And then we're also going to cook some asparagus and broccoli for some good vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And then I don't know if we're gonna do anything with this, but my mom gave this to me. She has a garden, and this is some kale that she grew from her garden. Right now I'm in Michigan at my childhood home. Also talk to you guys about cooking for others. I thought it'd be fun to cook for my family and show you guys how I do it. So this looks like a little bouquet, or you could put this kale in a little pocket, in a coat pocket. And then we also have some chives from the garden as well that we might use on top of the salmon. I also want to note that I have the most comfortable house slippers on. They are these little boots from Parachute, and they're just so cozy that when I'm standing in the kitchen, my feet feel like they're supported, so my feet don't hurt while I'm standing and cooking. So, all right, let's get cooking. First, we're going to put the rice into a pot and rinse it. As you can see, that the rice has a lot of starch, and you want to wash that out so that way the rice clumps don't. You want to rice out the starch so that way the rice doesn't clump together, and it also helps to take out some of the arsenic in the rice, which is a heavy metal. Now you could use a mesh strainer to do this as well, but I find that it's easy to just do it all in one pot. And you want to rinse this about maybe 4 to 5 times until the water becomes more transparent. So it's starting to get transparent here. Let me do it 1 or 2 more times. There we go. It should be good. You can also soak the rice for an hour or 2 to also take out some of the arsenic and starch, but this is just really easy and simple to do. So I have about 1 cup of rice in here, and then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of filtered water. I'm gonna add just about 1.75 cups into the pot. Ready to get that rice all in there. We're gonna move this over to, we're gonna set this to high, medium high, and we're going to boil this. Once the rice is boiled, we'll add a little bit of salt, cover it, and then put it down to a simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now we are going to prep the salmon. But before we do that, I forgot to put my apron on. All right, I guess this is what we're working with today. All right, this will protect my nice clothes. To save time and energy, I like to use a toaster oven whenever I cook something like salmon or anything that's small enough in amount, because it saves on energy because you're not heating up the whole house with the oven, and it's quicker. So we're going to use a small cookie sheet, line it with parchment paper, and then take the fish out. Ideally, you would have the fish be room temperature. So you would leave it on the counter for a bit to warm it up to room temperature. That will help with helping when it's in the oven to cook all the way through and that the insides aren't too raw. To not have to touch the fish with my hands, I'm gonna use these tongs, and just place it in the middle of the parchment paper. I personally like to buy wild-caught salmon if I can find it, whether that's king, Alaskan, coho. When a salmon is farmed, it's usually in a confined space with other fish, not as much room to roam around, and they try to feed the fish in a controlled way where they're trying to get the color to be more vibrant by giving it food that has dyes in it and other things, which can be detrimental to your own health because you're consuming that. So whatever your food eats, you eat. You eat what the food eats. You're eating. You eat what you eats. Yeah, that's right. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. That's a bit of olive oil. You can also do butter, but I prefer olive oil. We're gonna do some salt and pepper. I love Maldon salt. It tastes great, it's flaky, and it also has low amounts of heavy metals in their salt, and that's been tested. Okay, so just flaking that around. Just about a pinch. We'll do black pepper. I like to grind the black pepper myself. It brings out the flavor of the spice. I can already smell the peppercorns. And then I'm going to cut this tomato. Look at how beautiful that tomato is. This is an heirloom tomato. You can see how it's got different colors, and that looks like a piece of art within itself. So it's so beautiful to see and just appreciate and take the time to appreciate the different ingredients that you use when you're cooking and to ignite your senses. So I just ignited my sense of smell with the black pepper, and now I'm igniting my eyes, my sight, by appreciating the beauty of this tomato. Move that over. We're just going to slice this tomato. It's important when you're cooking to use a sharp knife, so that way you're getting a good cut. So for the salmon, I can hear my rice is boiling, so I'm gonna bring it down to a simmer. Add a little bit of the salt and put a lid on top. For the tomato on this salmon, I'm going to make little slices, and then I'm going to layer it on top once they're done. Okay, all right, now I prefer to use basil. I prefer to do a tomato basil salmon, but we don't have basil right now, so I'm gonna use dill instead. Dill is, I prefer fresh dill, but for a recipe like this, dried dill is just fine. And you wanna just put a even layer of dill throughout the dish. Now that I think about it, I actually made a similar version to this on another episode of Katie in the Kitchen with Limmy when we made a salmon and zoodles dish. So I think we used tomato basil for that. And then I think we did a pesto sauce or something. All right, so now that the dill is on there, we're gonna layer the tomatoes on top of the salmon. Something about tomatoes on salmon is so delicious to me. I don't know exactly why, but I think that the acidity from the tomato pairs really nicely with the fat in the salmon. So you just wanna layer it like this. Doesn't that look beautiful? It almost looks like peaches. Like this tomato almost looks like peaches. And if you have extra slices, you can snack. If I ever have extra of an ingredient left, I never want to waste. So I either eat it or I put it in a bag or Tupperware and I put it in the fridge, and maybe I'll make a salad with this tomorrow. All right, now, a step I forgot to do was preheat the oven. I should have done this before. So I'm gonna do it at 365 for about 12 minutes. Now what I could do is I could throw it in there now while it's preheating to try to cook from the inside out. But I think I'll just wait. I'll start working on the vegetables in the meantime and we'll set this aside. All right, so now I'm gonna use the same cutting board and I am going to grab my veggies. So I'm cooking for 3. I'll need about 4 per person. And then I'm gonna add some broccoli as well, because why not? A variety of nutrients in each bite. This goes back in the fridge for later. Now we are going to wash. Oh, that was so easy and so quick. For asparagus, instead of cutting the ends off, I like to feel and break the end off where it's extra woody, and that would be really hard to chew. So know that that's a part of asparagus that you wanna take off, which will be helpful for ease of eating. To not waste these, you can either put them in a compost bin or you can cut them up small and feed it to your dogs. So I could just leave it like this, or I could cut them in half for easier bite size. I think I'm just gonna leave them like that for now, but I am going to cut the broccoli again for the dogs, and then just slice into more bite-sized pieces. You don't have to discard the stems, but you can if you'd like. I actually enjoy taking off the outer layer of the stems because they're also a bit woody in texture. And then I will eat the inside. This is actually my favorite part of broccoli. All right, so now we're going to take our cut up vegetables and put them in a pan at about medium heat. Again, I like to use avocado oil spray. It's a higher smoke point. A little bit of salt and pepper. And then I think this is the key trick to making any vegetable pop, and pop in color, pop in vibrancy, and eat really well. A bit of lemon zest. I like to use a micro plane. This is great for zesting, cutting garlic. And I'm gonna use the rest of this lemon for the fish. Ideally, I would want to have zested right at the end just to have that little pop of flavor, but it's okay, it'll cook into it. Keep it around that medium heat, and you can add, and we're gonna put a lid over top to steam the veggie as well. Let's check on our rice. Ooh, look at how fluffy that looks. It's So it's been about 20 minutes, and I think that that rice is perfect. So we're gonna turn that off. And at this point, you can just leave it as is, or you can add a little bit of oil or butter to add some creaminess to the rice. We're just gonna leave that there and keep the top on to keep it warm, and it will cook it a little bit more. Add a splash of water to then steam that. Let's look at our salmon as it's cooking in the oven. Let's add some of my mom's kale to the veggies. Just gonna put the leaves in there to steam. Just a little extra pop of green. While I'm waiting for everything to cook, I like to clean my workstation while I go. So that way by the time I'm done cooking, I have everything in the kitchen nice and clean, and I can just sit down at the table, eat, and relax, knowing that all of the hard work is done. Since it is fall, we are going to be using the fall-inspired plates. They are ceramic and beautiful fall colors. We now have our beautifully vibrant vegetables. And we're going to place these on the plate. Don't worry, I washed this on the side. The salmon is done. Let's see how the salmon's doing. Wow, look at how beautiful. Now let's check to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. So you want it to be slightly pink on the inside, but no, it needs a lot more time. Okay. I would say for another six or so minutes, and then we'll check it again. But in the meantime, we can serve up the rice. And I made way too much rice. So what that means is I now get to have rice for meal prep. Now I get to have meal prepped rice for the rest of the week. And actually rice and other starches like pasta and potatoes, when you put them in a fridge and then they cool down and then you eat them again, it actually changes the effect on your glycemic index, which is how your blood sugar responds to consuming sugar. And so when you consume these starches after they've been cooled down in that way, then it actually makes them more resistant, which won't cause your blood sugar to be as high as if you were to eat a rice freshly cooked. So fun fact. All right, now we wait for the salmon and for my dad to come home from work. This is the part of cooking and life that teaches you patience. After you've done everything, the only thing that might be left is just to wait. That's it. That's all you can do. And you can't speed up the process in any way, because otherwise you'd have undercooked food, or you would have an underdeveloped part of yourself if you were rushing through something in life. And I think that it would completely change the flavor and the experience of your dish or of your outcome in life. So that's Katie's lesson, Katie's soul lesson of the day. When you are waiting though, it doesn't mean you have to do nothing. You can also use that time for something productive, like a mini exercise snack, like getting your squats in, or stretching, or meditating, or singing, la, or just staring at the clock going down in numbers, or watching it. Let's see, we have about 2 minutes, a minute and a half left on the timer. Let's see where we're at. Okay, that's much better. but I think it still needs some more time. That was a little aggressive. This is the time for more olives. I swear I'm not sponsored by these. I just found them at Costco the other day and I thought that they were so cute. Imported from Italy. And only olives and salt. That's it. No preservatives. Ah. So good. Maybe this would be good in the meal. Why not? We'll put one little olive in the middle of the rice. Why not? A little surprise. This is the point of having fun with your food. You just get to experiment and explore. These chives look like hair. I'll cut these up. Chives are actually a type of onion. They're really good in potatoes. Just use a little bit. Today we're going to, on the dish, you can either cut these with a knife or you can use scissors and snip them. I can smell the oniony chive smell as I cut this. I guess we'll just sprinkle a little bit on top. Might be ready now. Let's see. It's very pungent. Just a little bit more. Ooh, these chives are gonna be really delicious with the tomato on that salmon. Unnecessary, but I like herbs. Herbs are very good for you, and they're often not thought about in cooking unless it's a specific recipe that calls for it. But you can put herbs on top of anything. It's kind of like microgreens. They're just little extra bonus of pockets of nutrients that you can elevate a dish. All right, let's see now. All right, that looks very nice. Worth the wait. Ah! Do you hear that? You can hear the popping of the oil, hot oil on the pan. All right, let's serve it up. And then I can just throw this away. Ta-da! All right. Time to take off the apron and enjoy this delicious meal. Thanks for watching today's episode of Katie in the Kitchen. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn more about health and wellness, whether that's holistic healing of your mind, body, and spirit, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or any of the other major social media platforms linked below. And if you're interested in doing a full mind, body, spirit cleanse where I guide you through the process, I'm doing another round of my Pure Pathways Detox Transformation Program starting in the new year. You can sign up now for the waitlist below, or you can do the self-paced version and start today. Thanks for choosing today to live life on the sunny side.